31 goals, a Pichichi trophy, a European Golden Shoe, the most goals ever scored by a Real Madrid player in a debut season. By every measure that matters in football, Kylian Mbappe looks unstoppable. But here's the question nobody wants to answer. What has Real Madrid actually won since he arrived? Stay with me, because the numbers behind the numbers tell a completely different story. When Kylian Mbappe finally made the move the world had been waiting for, from PSG to Real Madrid in the summer of 2024, the reaction was euphoric. This was the player who had dominated French football for 6 consecutive seasons as top scorer. The player with 69 Champions League goals in just 97 appearances. The man who, alongside Messi and Ronaldo, was being spoken about as one of the greatest players of his generation. Real Madrid were already the defending La Liga and Champions League champions. Adding Mbappe, most people agreed, made them simply unstoppable. And on paper, the goals came. In his debut season, Mbappe scored 42 goals across all competitions. He won the Golden Boot, he won the Golden Shoe. He broke Zamorano's record from 1992 as the highest-scoring Real Madrid debut season player in history. The surface numbers were spectacular. But football isn't played on paper, and the surface numbers hide something much more uncomfortable. Let's start with the most basic measure of success at the biggest club in the world. Trophies. In Mbappe's first season at Real Madrid, nothing. No La Liga, no Champions League, no Copa del Rey, no Spanish Super Cup. The club that had dominated Europe finished the season empty-handed for the first time in years. Barcelona, meanwhile, won La Liga, the Copa del Rey, and the Spanish Super Cup. In Season 2, the story got worse. Real Madrid headed into 2025-26, still searching for their first major trophy of the Mbappe era. And Barcelona, they beat them again in the Spanish Super Cup final 3-2. Here's the number that should make every Real Madrid fan deeply uncomfortable. Since Kylian Mbappe arrived at the Bernabeu, Real Madrid have faced Barcelona in 4 trophy-deciding situations. 4 finals or title races where the trophy was there to be won. They lost all 4. The Spanish Super Cup in 2025. Barcelona 5-2 Real Madrid. The Copa del Rey final in 2025. Barcelona 3-2 Real Madrid. La Liga 2024-25. Barcelona 86 points. Real Madrid 84. The Spanish Super Cup in 2026. Barcelona 3-2 Real Madrid. Mbappe scored in some of those games, but scoring and winning are 2 very different things. And at Real Madrid, only winning matters. But let's dig deeper than just trophies, because some will argue that Mbappe can't be held responsible for the whole team. Fair enough. Let's look at what he has actually contributed beyond the goals. Assists. At PSG in the 2021-22 season, Mbappe finished as both top scorer and top assist provider in League One, 17 assists. He was the engine of an entire attack. He didn't just score, he made the team better. At Real Madrid in the 2025-26 La Liga season, just 4 assists. But it goes deeper than that. Analysis from BeIN Sports in the early months of his first season showed that out of 127 forwards who had played at least 1 minute in La Liga, 14 had created more chances than Mbappe, and big chances created. The opportunities where a teammate is realistically expected to score, just 2. For context, at the same stage of the previous season with PSG, Mbappe had already racked up 14 league goals and was creating chances at a significantly higher rate. The question isn't whether Mbappe is scoring, he is. The question is he making Real Madrid better? The data suggests not as much as the price tag demands. Now here's where it gets really interesting. Because if there's one competition that defines a Real Madrid player's legacy, it's the Champions League. Mbappe arrived with 69 Champions League goals, one of the greatest records in the history of the competition. He had scored against every giant. He had produced in the biggest moments. So what happened in the Champions League at Real Madrid? Season 1. Eliminated in the quarterfinals by Arsenal. Mbappe scored 7 goals in the campaign, 6 fewer than the tournament's top scorers. Season 2 eliminated again in the quarterfinals, this time by Bayern Munich. More goals this time, 15, just 2 short of Cristiano Ronaldo's single-season record of 17. But still eliminated. Still no final. Still no trophy. Here's the historical context that matters. In the Ronaldo era, between 2009 and 2018, Real Madrid won the Champions League 4 times. They had a culture of winning when it mattered most. That culture appears to have broken down. And while Mbappe isn't solely responsible, the manager changed, Vinicius, Bellingham, and others have all been criticized. The narrative that adding the world's most expensive player in waiting would automatically elevate the team has not played out. Real Madrid's own coach, Alvaro Arbeloa, admitted publicly that, and I quote, "It hasn't been easy for him to make it here." That's the coach defending his star forward. That's not the story we were promised. To be fair to Mbappe, and we have to be, this isn't entirely his fault. When a galaxy of stars collide, someone always gets disrupted. And analysis from multiple outlets suggests that Mbappe's arrival threw the entire attacking structure of Real Madrid off balance. Vinicius Jr., one of the best players in the world at the time, saw his effectiveness drop. Rodrygo scored just once in his final 22 appearances. The team that had been a cohesive, devastating unit suddenly looked fragmented. One commentator put it this way: Real Madrid has many big names, players with incredibly impressive resumes. But this means little if they are not able to work together. Mbappe, Vinicius, Bellingham, all generational talents, all at times wanting the game to go their way, and none of them willing to fully adapt their game for the others. The result? A team that on paper should be unstoppable, but in reality has been consistently stopped by Barcelona in finals, by Arsenal and Bayern in Europe. This is the paradox of the superstar era. Sometimes more talent creates less team. So where does this leave us? Kylian Mbappe at Real Madrid is scoring goals. Historic goals. Record-breaking goals. But football is not just a game of individual statistics. At Real Madrid, a club that measures itself by Champions League trophies, not golden boots, the results simply haven't followed the goals. 2 seasons, 0 major trophies, 4 finals lost to Barcelona, 2 Champions League quarter-final exits. Compare that to what Real Madrid had just before he arrived. Champions League winners, La Liga winners. The most dominant force in European football. Is Mbappe to blame? Not entirely, but the idea that his arrival would take Real Madrid to an even higher level. The data says that hasn't happened. And for a player who chose Real Madrid specifically to win the biggest trophies that eluded him at PSG, the uncomfortable truth is this: right now the trophies are still eluding him. Mbappe's numbers look brilliant in isolation, but in context, they tell a very different story. If you think I've got this wrong, or if you think there's more to this story, let me know in the comments. And if you want more football content that goes beyond the surface stats, subscribe, because there's plenty more where this came from.